I don't have a girlfriend, and it's not because of this mustache that I've been growing out. We're also not painting an iPad today. It was a clickbaity social experiment video. We're doing some oil painting, some portraits, some sketching, just a nice painting session. So the mustache that I'm growing out is for a project that you'll see in a few weeks. It's a huge project I've been working on. It's for a photo shoot. More information, it's a secret, you'll find out. So that's why I'm growing it out. And yeah, so the video, I'm not trying to rip on anyone who does the custom iPhones or all those super trendy videos. You know, they're great videos and they get a lot of views. I'm not ripping on anyone. I just thought it'd be funny to try it out, try to psych people out, troll people perhaps a little. But we're doing the traditional oil painting, my favorite thing to do. We're just having a great practice session today, and we're gonna do a few portraits. I got some materials, let's talk about it. So what we're gonna be doing is a few oil paintings and then also a watercolor, I think, if we have enough time. And these are just gonna be kind of simple portraits. It's gonna be considered like sketching. We're gonna do paint sketches. For the oil painting, I'm gonna use this canvas board, mega cheap canvas board. This is like $2. And then also this is a piece of styrofoam actually. It's like 1/8 inch, I believe. It looks like illustration board, but it's styrofoam. And this is just an example of you could prime anything and paint on anything. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna gesso these two surfaces, couple layers of gesso, let it dry, and then I'm actually gonna grab some gunk from my turpentine container, which is just old oil paint, and use that as a nice ground for the oil paint. So that's the plan. I'm super excited because I get to use the Zorn palette. I've used the Zorn palette only a few times before, and I'm not here to teach it to you. This is just my experience with it, but it's a super limited palette, only 4 colors, a very famous palette, versatile, from a Swedish painter, Zorn, hence the Zorn palette, titanium white, yellow ochre, cadmium red light, and ivory black. You know, the ivory black is a cool black, so it kind of acts as a blue in this kind of color gamut, and you can mix some subtle greens, and it's super versatile. I love limited palettes. It helps me kind of focus on the painting and not, you know, messing up my values with different hues. Anyways, we're all set up. This is for practice, by the way, so this is gonna be an 1.5 to 2 hour portrait sketches. That's how you gotta think about it, practice. We got the linseed oil ready. We got the odorless mineral spirits. We're gonna use bigger brushes because I'm not trying to get detailed. My main issue, I always try to go for detail. We're gonna stay broad and loose, and I'm excited. We're all ready, we're set up. I know I spent a long time talking about the setup, but I think people like that. I also like to explain it. We got the primed piece of styrofoam. It's kind of at shoulder length, so that when I'm painting, it's kind of straight on. That's a nice posture to have. The photo reference right to the right, and I want to talk about the photo reference real quick. I got this beautiful reference, these beautiful modeled photos from New Masters Academy, which is an online atelier. I am now an affiliate of the New Masters Academy. It's like the best atelier online. You know, they have incredible resources like these photos, thousands of reference photos, full models, 3D models. They have video courses on anatomy, on painting. An atelier is, you know, an academic school for painting and drawing. So it's an incredible resource. I know a lot of people ask me about my schooling and what resources there are online. So I just thought I'd say that. If you use the link in the description, I get a little kickback. Check it out if you're interested. No pressure. New Masters Academy. It's pretty epic. Got some reference. We're going to begin only painting from here on out. All right, let's do it. All right, so I'm gonna walk you through kind of the setup, and then when we start painting, it's gonna go a little faster, but I'm trying to get the resemblance. And how you do that, you gotta measure everything, you know, the resemblance to this and this and this and this using plumb lines. This isn't a lesson. This is what I'm just gonna do. So I'm really gonna be talking to myself, because talking it out, having that inner dialogue really helps. So I'm gonna make the face bigger than it is here, and I just wanna nail the proportions and the resemblance, and then, you know, fill in the just simple values. That's all we're really practicing here. This isn't gonna be some fleshed out painting. We really just wanna get the resemblance. I got a little paint, little mineral spirits, and so I want the top of the head to kind of be right here, the chin to be like right here. We gotta move this over. So generally, things are split up into thirds. Not every face is like that. The brow, it's about 4. To under the nose, it's about 4. So it's a little more than that. So we're gonna go like this. This is just generic. I have no measurements here. We're just kind of getting the shapes in. You know, the top of the forehead to the eyebrows it's about a third. From there to the bottom of the nose, it's about a third. From the bottom of the nose to the chin, it's about a third. So you could generically come up with these measurements. It's not all gonna work out. We'll do a third, something like that. All right, so 1, 2, 3. Another thing you could start with is the eyes. You know, the eyes, if you look at this portrait, it's kind of like in the center of the whole head. If this whole head is exactly 6 inches from this little ruler, the eyes are smack dab kind of at 3. So if this is my whole circle right here, the eyes should be right around here. And so I'm gonna keep finagling that until we're at a better spot and we can start adding some color. There's a good place to kind of start filling in some of the color because, you know, I have some good proportions. I think I could always change them. We're going to start mapping in the shadows because that's a good place to start, and start with the darks and lights and just be simple, big shapes, no details, fill in the big shapes, slowly move in to highlights and other stuff. All right, so this is a good place to continue to talk. I've developed the face a lot, and we're gonna do the last kind of highlights. Bringing this neck down is gonna make it look more like her, and just putting the highlights in. So we're staying loose. I'm pretty happy with how loose I've stayed. This has been about, it says on the camera, 1 hour and 20 minutes. We'll do a lot of white. That's probably too much, but that's fine. Take a little ochre and just a tad bit of red as well. So this is like the lightest highlight value. We want this high chroma as well as a high value. And so that looks pretty pink. We're actually gonna take half of that and make it even brighter. Boom. So, I consider myself a painter, I consider myself a full-time artist, but I still feel very new to this all. You know, I still feel like I'm learning just in the beginning stages of understanding things, and that's why I practice, that's why I take the time, a serious chunk of time to practice and do these exercises, because my desire to really improve within this category of fine arts, depicting reality, naturalism, you know, it's very important to me, and it takes work, so that's what I wanted to articulate, how I felt about it. I think this portrait turned out great. The 2 hours I spent sketching, you know, the resemblance is there. The eyes are definitely wonky. I struggle with eyes so much, which stinks because they're usually the focal point of portraits. The nose is a little long, but other than that, it was a good time well spent. I think it was successful, and we're gonna move on to the next one. New portrait, we got a beautiful darker skin complexion. The face is also facing the other way. It's a perfect second portrait. We're switching things up. I'm super excited. I'm not gonna talk through all the steps like I did before. It's kind of just gonna be the strokes and the process. quarantine practice, the name of the game. If you haven't been practicing or you're afraid to pick up a paintbrush, there really isn't a better time right now than being quarantined and the craziness of the world right now to paint. You know, today was 5 hours of solid painting and practice. The second portrait was more like 2.5 hours. You know, I think that I got more detailed towards the end compared to the first portrait. The likeness is great. There's still so much wonkiness with the eyes and nose, and as humans, we're so easily able to recognize the face that if something is slightly off, it's very obvious. So just more work to be done. Quarantine time, you know, it's a great time to practice. You should pick up your brushes. Let me know if you want to see more of this. I should be doing this 5 or 6 times a week, you know, on top of all the other stuff I do, because I love it and I can't get enough. I wish I could do more, but we're finished with this video. Let me know what you think. Leave the comments. I read them all, and follow me on Instagram because I was posting updates throughout this whole painting session. That's all I got. Let me know, and we'll see you in the next video.